Hello everyone, welcome. In this video, let's talk about some of the other wrong moves against the corner approach to the start point. We already covered a lot of moves. This is kind of a little recap. The simple way is to simply play a small knight's move, large knight's move, it's viable. One space jump, two space jump, these are all viable moves with pros and cons. The kick, the pressing attachment, all kinds of pincers that we briefly talked about, and we also talked about this move, which doesn't really exist anymore, the shoulder hit, this move, situational, and this move, which is a pretty bad trick move. There's still some other choices, but by now, you should have a good guess of how black should respond to those. Most of those are not good, right? So this is a common move by beginners, and even some Q players still like to play this move. The rationale, of course, is very similar to this move, which is a legitimate move under certain circumstances, but this is almost always a bad move. It's too inefficient, right? It's putting even less pressure on number 5, right? When you're responding to number 5, you would always want to put some pressure on this stone, and number 6 is not doing that. But what it does is that, again, it's trying to guard the corner from the left side. So it's very hard for number 5 to play another move to come into the corner. But this is the only thing number 6 is doing. It's a little too slow. So black, in this situation, you don't have to take the corner if white doesn't want you to come in. Just extend, and white will just play a corner closer. And this already benefits black. It might be a little counterintuitive because as beginners, many Q players, you would think this is a very solid way for white to enclose the corner, right? 3 moves, it's already 15 points. But the board is very big, right? And this is not the most efficient way to play, right? You're only surrounding your territory, but you're not giving your opponent enough pressure. And what's worse is that no matter where you play, there are subsequent moves that black can make to make you over-concentrated, right? There are moves like this attachment, and all of a sudden, white will have decisions to make. If you play something like this, then this is over-concentrated, and number 6 is not efficient. If it's something like this, then black might have this move sometime down the line to reduce the territory in the corner. If white plays here, then of course there's this approach that's could be annoying. If you play here, then black has moves on the outside like this, and also the approach. If it's here, then black will have moves like this or this. That could be a problem for white, right? Black can just build on the outside and give white the corner. But the bottom line is that number 6 is not the most efficient move, right? You can play a corner closer here, but maybe it's better for white to play here, right? Or even here. But this is also a slow move, right? It's not putting enough pressure, similarly on black. And if it's this way, again, it will favor black, right? Even though you think that white already has a good position on the corner. But number 6 is just a slow move. One more thing about this descent is that if white thinks it's already a strong shape, then it actually is not, right? So if black plays something here and is mostly settled, and black can actually attack these 2 stones. You might think it already has a strong position on the corner, occupying some territory, but the answer is no. Black has this move. It's really harsh, really harsh. And this move basically makes the corner unguardable because white cannot play this, right? If you play right here, this is an extremely ugly shape and very inefficient. And I think black should be happy just taking sente in this situation, right? Because this shape is so inefficient and so ugly already. So the best white can do is probably just move out like this, right? Or play on top of black. The corner is very hard to save, right? Any move that saves the corner is pretty small. The corner is not that big at all. And white is under pressure from both sides. So white will almost certainly have to follow up with a move, with a corner closer. So that means number 6 is really not a good shape and really inefficient. Right, so that's something to keep in mind for beginners. I know it might be a little hard to convince you at first, but once you start playing, once you start seeing some of these moves, it's just not doing much. And hopefully you'll start trying some of the other moves that lead to Josekis that are viable for white. What about this move? See, some Joseki books cover this. By now you should know how to respond. Just take the corner, right? And the Joseki should be this. So number 6 is at an okay spot, not the best spot, but it's not terrible either, right? So this way, black takes the corner, not that big, but black already has a base, basically alive, and white is in a good position, and white has sente. So this is viable for both sides, but not great for white, right? White give up the corner this way, and number 6 is not at the best spot it can be. One thing to note is that black will have to play this, right? If it's something like this, white blocks from this side, cutting off number 5, then this is going to be good for black, because number 6 is really inefficient, right? Adding this diagonal move to these 4 stones, it's not great. But black cannot play this. Now this way, this will actually favor white, because look at number 6. It's at a very good spot. Very good spot. Connecting, very strong shape. So this will favor white. So black just needs to be a little careful here. After white blocks this way, black will just have to honey here first. And of course, white cannot block from this side. This doesn't make any sense. Number 6, again, is very slow, right? So all of these wrong moves, or not so viable moves for white, are slow moves, inefficient moves, and that's why they do not lead to Josekis, and most Joseki books don't cover them. And now you know, like, beginners might make mistakes like this or this. You don't need to be afraid of these, just extend. White already is at a disadvantage, right, after playing moves like this. What about this? Right, so we covered this. This is a harsh move, but of course black can just push and cut, or play something like this to disconnect these two groups. So similarly, black can just play this to disconnect these two white stones, and any fights will favor black. A harsher move will be this. White will want to cut, right? This wouldn't make any sense. Again, white is cut off, and we'll have to take care of both sides, and black is in a strong position. So white will want to cut, and we're thinking something like this, just capturing number 6 may not be enough. This is actually okay for white. It's not terrible. The better move is actually right here, and this is threatening to come into the corner. So the best thing white can do is, again, try to sacrifice number 6 and play something like this. And this will favor black, because the corner is not fully enclosed. That's the problem. One thing white can try is this. So this is an interesting pattern that's worth spending minutes on. White's best move is this, right? Sacrificing one more stone. So black clearly wins this race to capture 3-2, but if black connects here, then white has sealed off the corner, right? It's a nice shape for white to seal off the corner, but again, overall it favors black, because why do you need to sacrifice these 3 stones, right? After number 5, you have many other choices. You don't have to sacrifice 3 of your stones to achieve this shape, right? Surrounding the corner and having a little bit of influence. It's just not worth it for white. So this is why it still favors black, but it's a nice way for white to enclose the corner. And that's why it's actually better for black to give up number 5 and play 2 moves on the first line instead. This is a Tari. And now white can take sente, of course, but how does white finish the shape? It's actually not that easy, right? If you connect here, then black will be very happy to come into the corner like this, right? To contest the corner, and white's corner territory is actually reduced. If white plays here, now black can capture this way. And this actually makes a huge difference. Compare this to the previous variation where black also takes these 3 stones. But number 18 is one spot to the left at D17, right? So in that variation, the corner is very solid. But here, it is far from solid. So white will play elsewhere, and black will have moves like this that can potentially live on the corner and make a lot of trouble, right? So this is one interesting pattern that I came across when I looked at number 6 here. But otherwise, number 6 is not that remarkable. Black can just cut it off and start a fight, and it will do white's no good. So that's the remaining moves, I think. Responding to number 5, most are wrong, most are not viable for white. And by now you should have a sense of how these Josekis should work after number 5. As always, if you have any questions or confusion, please let me know in the comment section below. Best of luck to you all. and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.